Hey, alright, so welcome to another episode of HighlordFox Garage. I'm HighlordFox, and this actually isn't a garage. This is a field. But we have a special surprise for you. I have my project car sitting behind me in a field that hasn't run in over 15 years. And it's a very special car. Some of you may know what it is. It's a mid-80s GM G-body. So it's two doors. Originally came with a V6. And it came in entirely one color. Can you guess what it is? Starts with a G. It's a Grand Prix! Well, you thought it was going to be a Grand National? I can't afford one of those fucking things. Let's get a little bit closer. There's something special about this. Let's get. So, alright. So, most of these 85 Grand Prix came with a 3.6 liter, I think, V6, or 3.8 liter V6. Tiny little engine. Little V6. This one originally came with a V8. But we took it out because it grenaded itself. So I put in, with Dave the car guy's help, who's standing behind the camera who helped me today, we put in a much better engine, a bigger engine, an engine that you can't believe we fit into this thing. That's right, we put in a 400 small block Chevy from the mid-70s. You thought it was going to be an LS? This is not an LS swap. Do I look like I can afford an LS swap? But no, in serious, this is an 85 Grand Prix. About 600,000 of them made during that model year. It's the Brougham package. It's got some upgrades and changes, as this was a daily driver for over almost 2 decades. I wasn't wrong. The V8, the 302, or 305, or 307, 305, one of those threes, did grenade itself. Sorry about the wind. We are outside. This is a field car. And it has not run on its own power in almost 15 years. So this is going to be my big project. Starting this 2020, we worked on this back when I was in high school. Me and my dad, we pulled the engine, rebuilt it from the ground up, and just kind of seeing it sitting here, slowly dying, you know, really kills me inside. And I want to get it up and running. I want to get it going. I want to be able to drive. I want to make the vroom vroom noises. So I'm hoping to bring everyone with me on this. So I'm gonna get another little roundabout, a little bit of close-up shot, so you're not just staring at the picture of an engine. And I think that's chrome. It was chrome at one point. It's now chromium. Apologize for the wind again, as it's outside. So this car has been sitting here for at least 5 to 10 years. It has not moved from this specific spot. Honestly, I think it hasn't moved in about 6, 8. It's been a while. Here we go. This is a much closer view. The 85 Brougham Grand Prix. 400 small block swap. A little bit closer shot of the engine. What we were actually preparing to do is we're going to get a truck and we're going to pull a little bit further away so I can actually get under it, see it a little bit better. But she has certainly seen a lot better days. But we are definitely, well, I am definitely excited to get this girl on the road again. She's very special to me. Yeah, a 2001 inspection. Last time she actually saw the road. I've cleared a little bit of stuff away from out. I bought this last year, so I've been cleaning some of the stuff away from it. But she's definitely got some body damage, some dents and scrapes. Some of it was before she sat, some of it was after she started sitting. My fault, actually, honestly. She's got a little hole in the roof up here. It's currently sealed with some high quality black tape adhesive. But she's going to need some work. She's going to need definitely some welding work around the lip, around the doors. Thankfully I know a guy. She's got the lamellar or vinyl, whatever the heck it's called. It's the vinyl top. I'm actually a big fan of these vinyl tops, just because they look cool, and even though I'm a young guy-ish, I feel like an old man. I've cleaned out some of the stuff around here. It had some mold growing in, so we'll need to do a little bit of repair on this, or at the very least seal it so it doesn't get worse. 85 is the last year that did not require a third tail light right there. One of the projects on my list is to give it a third tail light. In addition, we've got the center fuel cap And I don't know if this one, we may have actually put, and it's not here if it is, we may have actually put air shocks on this at one point. I'll check that. There is a mount for a CB antenna. This had a CB set up at one point in its history. Long since been removed. I can thank a prior dog of mine for tearing that out. Love you, rest in peace. Got some holes and some rust bits. Definitely going to need a cleaning. That's the next thing to do, is physically wash it so I know what the hell I need to do to this thing. And the interior is filled with junk. Some of it new that I've just recently put into it to prepare for this project, as you can see me in the reflection. And other bits are, you know, from when we were working on it. Old valve covers, old spark plug wires, you know, a whole bunch of parts and everything in it. Still got the original seats. Everything interior is pretty much original. The other door is black because about 20 years ago, my brother in a Snapple bottle decided to introduce it at high speed and shattered the window. And back in those days, it was easier to just buy a door from a junkyard, from a pick apart, than it was to get a whole new door, or a whole new window, because it is a motorized window. So that's why that door is black. It will be part of the paint scheme, and this will be painted at some point. It is old, it is white, but it will be painted. She already has a name, Lady Sif. Keeping with the motif of Sig Run My Bike, this is Lady Sif. She will be the workhorse of my projects. So, Car Guy Dave is going to be over in a moment with a truck, and we will get this thing pulled out so I can get a little bit better shots, some interior shots, and maybe some frame shots. Based on the recommendation of another great YouTube content creator, I am getting the VIN of this engine, or engine identification number I should say. That way I can look it up and get the exact make, model, year, plant, everything of when this engine was produced, because at the time we just sort of bought it off a friend of the family and took their word for it.
It came out of an 82 Suburban is what we took it out of.
So
it had supposedly been rebuilt. It was rebuilt improperly with the wrong bearings in the motor.
yeah, so it's 2020, so we're gonna do our due diligence and make sure we have everything right. I mean, it's run before and it ran beautifully.
Oh, you know, we had a crank biked. We put new bearings in. That was all done properly, straight up. Polished the crank. Had them measured out. Put the correct bearings in it.
So
connecting rods were rock solid. All that was good.
here's the beast. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit muffled, but I'm wearing a face mask. This is a, what is this, 600?
Holley 650.
Holley 650 4-barrel carb leading into a 400 small block Chevy. It has, well, the car had AC at the beginning. It will continue to have AC once I'm done with this. We have a big, yeah, we have a big thick radiator in it. It's been replaced at least once. I think it's a 4-core. We have straight pipe headers on the side that will be cleaned up and probably replaced at this point. They've been sitting for 20 years, which is kind of sad, but we'll get it working. It's got, what else it's got? We've replaced the distributor at least once. It's got What else have we replaced on the front end of this thing? Lots of things. Lots of bits, pieces. Miscellaneous
the water
parts.
pump, all this stuff was replaced, but you're going to have to go into
Yeah.
it because it's been sitting
So
forever.
we replaced most of this when we put this in 15, 20 years ago. We're going to have to replace it all again. It'll be fine. This thing has an electric fuel pump. We have a fuel pump delete, which is basically a plate on this side.
Which was done
you
kind
can
of
see down
poorly
there.
because we lost the bolts for the original plate. So the plate is in the, there's a holly chromed plate somewhere inside the car.
Yeah,
Fits that with the correct bolts.
Yeah, well, we may put that on, we may not. Let's see where that goes. But this is where your manual fuel pump usually is. That's loosened. Oh, because we had the pump mounted there. I remember. We had a little small electric fuel pump. You can see the wires and stuff for it hanging down. So that's one thing we had to replace. And I will continue to be using that as well. We had a big chrome air intake that will be cleaned up, if not replaced. I'm going to try and clean it up. The little patina on it, it never hurt nobody. As you can see, the engine was painted orange-red at one point. We scraped most of that off when we did the rebuilding. The valve covers are just the valve covers on the engine. Nothing special about them, but
We have chrome valve covers for it somewhere.
we probably have chrome valve covers. If not, I
We
might
do.
pick up a knot.
Actually, I think I might have put them in the car.
Might be in the car, but let's take a look inside the car. All right, so I got chrome ones in the car sitting here in this big pile. Yep, I see them. So those will get put on final product. So here we have the interior. We have the door, which is falling apart, which I have to fix that. I'm aware of that. The interior needs to be cleaned, like sanitized, like no tomorrow. That's completely removed. Well, cleaning and removing it, yeah. This is why I'm wearing the mask, because it is rancid in here and it triggers my my delicate sensibilities. The steering wheel has been replaced. This is the race car special installed by Dave the Car Guy many years ago. That will get replaced with a stock one when I get to it. The instrument panel has been taken out and replaced. This is off of a... What's this instrument panel off of? God knows what?
Well, the tachometer came out of a Monte Carlo. I cut it and I mounted it inside the dash assembly. That is the original dash assembly.
Yeah.
But I cut it apart because it originally had a clock there.
Yeah, there's another one sitting on the other side.
Right,
Yeah.
that's just an extra one from...
So this car has been...
That came out of a Capri.
It's been pretty modded. Yeah, it's all apart. So this is the original instrument cluster. Is that the original 73,000 miles on it? Or...
That's the original dashboard in the car.
Okay.
That's
So
just the only thing that's changed is I cut it internally, mounted the tack, ran the wire through, connected it to the distributor, and you have a tachometer.
So it has a tack that works. It's got your temperature, voltage, unlimited fuel. Oil gauge does work. Oil gauge works? Yeah. Okay. Is that digital oil gauge? It's got the little pipe. Okay, pressure line. So all this worked at one point. As you can see, it's got all the... It really needs to be cleaned in here. It is really stank. It's going to have a spot for a radio. I'll put a new radio in on it. But I have the dash. Got a little mouse house back there. But I will have the dash. It's sitting in the back, actually. Got a dashboard back there. So this dash will go on. Most of this car is original, except for what we've replaced.
This is the dash. I took this out of a Suburban, I think.
Yeah, so we have a spare
because it had
instrument panel, just in case.
Extra plugs, and it had this pressure gauge on it.
Yeah, so we have a spare pressure gauge. Has CB mounts. That'll all get put in at some point. The headliner has to be replaced and torn down, and it's terrifying. Peek up in there. It's terrifying. The back is dirty. This thing was a beautiful car. I mean, it's still a nice car. I like it, but it really needs to be horribly cleaned. They step back and attempt to close the door. That didn't work. New rear axle at one point, because the rear axle also grenaded itself sometime prior to the engine grenading itself. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, it's got new tires, new rims. One of the projects is going to be drums, 2 discs, and got a little bit of rust on this body all around. But let's take a look and see what the frame actually looks like. I haven't looked at this frame yet, and color me surprised. I think it's got a dent in it. And this camera's going to give people mood whiplash, but frame's actually in pretty decent shape. Sorry about the focus there, folks. Pull it out a little bit. Focus, the focus. There we go. Yeah, frame's actually in pretty decent shape. I mean, the on the side of the frickin' whatchamacallit, door is definitely gonna need to be fixed, but the frame looks actually pretty solid, which is the most important thing one of these things is. Ooh, that's a mount for something. Have to work on that. Got a mount right there. Tank in there. Gonna have to pull the tank out. We have lost an actual ratchet extension in there. So yeah, fun times. I don't think. No, these are not the air shocks. We put air shocks in another one of the vehicles we had like this back in the day. The other side looks pretty decent though too. Seeps the tall grass. So I'm actually pretty happy for this. We have a welder and we have someone who can do welding. So I'm not exactly worried about frame rust, but definitely one of those things where it makes me worried. I have had rusty cars before, and yeah, you've been sitting. I mean, it's got a lot of surface rust. I'm gonna definitely need to clean it. Get a nice pressure washer on it, but it looks good. You know, for sitting for 20 fucking years, man. I'm gonna be honest. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to repack and redo brakes all the way around and repack these bad boys. Anyone has any suggestions for nice rims on an 85? I'm open all ears. These are like 14s or something. 15s. Yeah, 216/75 R15 Touring AS. Date code probably sometime in the mid-20s, knowing my luck. So, and I need new chrome slide for this. We'll get to that. I might just even take all the chrome off. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, thank you for sticking along. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, all that fun stuff. And next week, hopefully next week, weather permitting, as this is an outside project, we will get this a little bit closer to our workshop. And from there, we will get a nice wash on it. And then hopefully we'll start to disconnect stuff inside this engine bay and get this engine out and get her cleaned up. You know, this will only take like 18,000 weeks. But I am looking forward to getting this bad girl on the road again. I am excited to share it with you, and I'm excited to restore, you know, a piece of automotive history. Not a big piece of history. This car isn't special outside of my family, but you know, it's a Pontiac Grand Prix. You don't see too many of these. Most people want to restore the Grand Nationals because that's the G frame or the G body that everyone loves. Oh yeah, also I need a new windshield. This cracked between well, when I looked at it a couple weeks ago and today, so got a new windshield. Gotta take the windshield out and have to repair the rust up here. So all right, thank you everyone for coming with me on this journey, and look forward to more fun car repair and car adventures. Thank you, and have a nice day.